Good morning, YouTube. Back today with another Motivation Monday video. I just wanted to get on, and it's been a while. I've had a lot going on, but I just wanted to get back on and talk a little bit about Motivation Monday. Anyway, I've been doing a little bit of book of the month, and the book I've been reading this month was The Art of Significance. I don't know if that's coming up backwards. Looks backwards to me on my camera, but Achieving the Level Beyond Success, and it's by Dan Clark. And it's really good on motivation. He tells a lot of stories, but basically it's about significance, not success. Like success is cool, but significance is beyond success. And he tells some stories in there about how to how to achieve that significance. And but basically, where he got his start was he was playing football for college. He was one of the top prospects coming into the league. And one day in practice, him and his coach had him and somebody else do some hitting drills, and they hit each other, and his neck cracked, and he was paralyzed from one whole half of his body. And he was trying to figure out how to get better, and he was doing rehab, and he was about ready to give it up, like just whatever. And then he finally decided that he was asking the wrong questions. He was asking, how do I get better? Instead of asking the doctor how to get better, he decided to start asking himself, why should I get better? And it's all in the questions that you ask, the why, and that's where he got his start. And since then, he's been all over the world doing motivational speeches and he's done sports teams, he's done businesses coming in and doing their, and kind of motivational speeches and stuff like that. So and one thing that kind of got me to know about this was I actually got to see him when I was in college. He spoke to our group, and he told some pretty wild stories, and I just come to love the guy, and he doesn't know me personally, but he's really inspired me to do some changing. And like I said, there's a few stories that I really like. I can't really pinpoint one, but he was just talking about that one of his friends that he was going to college with got drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he got traded to the Raiders. And then one day he just up and walked out of practice, just for no reason. Just, walked out of practice, never to play football again. And when he was asked about it, he says, well, I love being a football player, but I hated playing football. He liked the fame and the fortune and the glory, but he didn't like actually going out and doing the work. And it's like, you gotta do what you love. You gotta do what, like, if you don't really love what you do, you gotta find something else. I mean, I know that's easier said than done sometimes, but it's just, you gotta do what you gotta do. And another story that I really like is a high school teacher. He was talking to a high school teacher, and the teacher says, "I never ever send any of my students to the principal's office. Like even the troublemakers." And he's like, "Don't never. I don't send any of them." And Dan was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And he tells his story better than I do, so I suggest read the book because you'll get a lot better story out of it. But anyway, I'll try and tell it the best I can. This teacher, he had this really troubled student in his class, but he never sent him to the principal's office. So Dan was asking, "Well, how do you what do you do?" And he says, "Well, I did some research, and I found out that this kid was in a rock band. So one weekend, him and some other teachers went to their concert, and the kids saw him there. They stopped the show, and they're like, "What are you teachers doing here?" And the teachers were like, "Oh, we just heard you were in a band, and we wanted to come check you out. And so they played for a little bit, and then the teachers, they couldn't take anymore, so they left. And but doing that for that teacher, that kid never was a problem in his class the rest of the year. He was still problems in other classes, but not in his. He was, and that's kind of a significance. You get to know your people. You get to know, you go to them, not let them come to you. Teachers and bosses and CEOs and managers, they expect you to come to them when you have a problem. And he was thinking, well, let's go to them. Let's find the problem and go to them, and let's relate to them what they're needing. And that's kind of a little bit of the difference between successful. Yeah, he was a successful teacher, and he was, but significance is the impact you put on the others. Like success creates a fortune, but significance creates a legacy, something that lasts far beyond after you've been gone. And that's kind of what he talks about. And he tells a bunch of other little stories in here that just, some of them are kind of tear jerking and make you think. And he also goes in and he gives you action steps of how to actually work on becoming it. It's not just telling you the difference and telling you stories. He's actually gives you some action steps of how to become, significant over success. Let's see if I can find it up in here. Like one of the laws of significance, if I can find it, is believe the whole truth instead of just believing what you think. That's one of the laws. And, trust predictability instead of hope and faith. Some of them are pretty easy. It's proactively stretch instead of change. Basically, instead of changing and doing something totally different, stretch. Instead, stretch it out, move it, And so, like I said, if you're into reading and want a recommended book, I recommend The Art of Significance. Dan Clark. It's definitely a good book, and he tells lots of crazy stories. Yeah. So, but anyway, thanks for watching. That's my Motivation Monday. This is the book I've been reading. I've been starting to read, and I've been doing a lot of contemplating of some of what I've been reading, and I've been thinking about some changes in my lifestyle and my life, and things are, they're a struggle at the moment, but they're gonna start getting better. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. Appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share. You know the drill. This channel wouldn't be even here. We're growing, but not very fast, but we're growing. But we wouldn't be growing at all if it weren't for y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love you. Like, subscribe, share it. You know the drill. Anyway, and I'll see you in the next one.